Mr. Walden is the son of two teachers. Born in Ohio, his family moved to Palm Beach County, Florida, just before his second birthday. He grew up on Mars Avenue in Jupiter, Florida, and was a 1980 graduate of Palm Beach Gardens High School in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, where he served as the freshman class president. Mr. Walden attended Georgetown College in Georgetown, Kentucky, and graduated in 1984 with a double major in business administration and economics and history. He then returned to Morehead State University, where he earned a double major in biology and earth science, a minor in physics, and his master's degree in education. Mr. Walden began teaching astronomy in 1989 at Washington Lee High School in Arlington, Virginia. He joined the Hylton family in 2000. To date, he has taught 74 astronomy classes. He is the longest-serving astronomy teacher in the state of Virginia. Class of 2015, please join me in welcoming a proud Hylton Bulldog, an exceptional teacher, and our guest speaker for today's commencement ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Walden.
Well, you've wondered your whole life, where's Waldo? And now you know. Now you know, right here. I'm honored to speak at your graduation today, and it's especially an honor for me because guess what? Today is also my birthday. Not really, but when I tell them that at the Red Lobster, I get a free dessert. It's good to see that you could all make it here today. You know, one guy really had a hard time getting to school this year. In fact, one morning, his mother entered his bedroom and said, "You get out of that bed and you go to school." "I hate that place," he said. "I don't ever want to go, and you can't make me go," he said. So his mother said, "You give me one good reason why you shouldn't have to go to school." "I'll give you two good reasons," he says. "For one thing, the teachers all hate me, and secondly, the principal hates me too." So she said, "I'll give you two good reasons why you will go to school. For one thing, you're 50 years old, and secondly, you're the vice principal of the school. Now get out of that bed." You know, graduation speeches are a lot like the horns on a steer. There's a point here and a point there, but in between it's mostly just bull. So here's something that hopefully will make all the parents happy, even those of you up there in the nosebleed section. I know that you came to this ceremony today to hear to see your child graduate and not to hear me speak. So I'm going to keep my speech short. But remember, I just lied about my birthday, too. And since we're talking about parents, I need the entire graduating class to stand to your feet and to face your parents. Do that right now. It's time. It's time to say thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you for getting me to this point. So let's give your parents a nice round of applause for all they have done for you. And we're not done. Don't sit down yet. We're not done. Don't sit down. Get back up. We're not done. Tip a glance to your left and right here. You're going to see 160 of my colleagues, your teachers, lined up on both sides. How about a nice show of gratitude for what they've done for you as well? Okay, now you can sit down. Okay, additionally, most of you will have cookout parties later today. Many of the adults in your life will bring you gifts or cards with money. Understand that these people don't owe you a darn thing. They give to you because they love you and they care about your life. So if you do receive something, money, gifts, or whatever, then you be sure you sit down and write a thank you and acknowledge every one of them. Because there's no bigger turnoff in the world than to give a young person graduation money and then never have it acknowledged. So you write those thank you notes and you do it this week. Every adult in this auditorium today wants you to have a happy life and to succeed. But before we discuss the things which constitute a happy life, let's first discuss some things which do not. First, you will not find happiness and listen carefully, you will not find happiness in drugs, alcohol, or cigarettes. In fact, you will not only destroy your own life, but you'll also hurt your loved ones as well. And once you develop those addictions, your brain chemistry changes forever, and you are never, ever, ever the same. So Nancy Reagan was right. Just say no to drugs, and if you never try it the first time, then you'll never develop your addiction. Another thing which will never lead to a happy life is getting yourself killed because you were texting while driving. And some of you were doing that on the way to graduation today. I saw you. Well, not really, but now I've got half the class wondering if it was them or not, right? And thirdly, don't seek your happiness and fulfillment from material things, because when it's in the store, it's a quadraphonic stereo sound system, but 2 weeks later, it's just another record player. So stop wishing that you could win the lottery and just sit around the house all day long and worship a pile of money, because happiness is not found with that. Instead, your life, your health, your youth, your good looks, your family, and the love that you have in your heart, these are your biggest treasures, and money cannot buy or replace a single one of those. But here are some things which hopefully will help you to have a happy life. Most of you will start to earn a living soon, so when you choose your life's work, follow your passion, not the money. You will work for close to 40 years, and working a miserable job that pays well is not nearly as rewarding as working a job that maybe pays a little bit less, like being a school teacher, but is nevertheless work that you love to do and enjoy. So there is honor in every career path. Thank you. There is honor in every career path and job as long as it's honest, so you choose the work that you love to do and don't follow the money. And if you want to be a truck driver, you be the best truck driver on the road, because if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And if you want to be an astronomy teacher, well, you can't be the best, but maybe you could still be the second best. Okay. And by the way, I've got to confess, I did lie to some of you in class. The experts were right. Pluto really is not a planet. It is not a planet. It's actually a ham sandwich. All right. Secondly, live within your means. As you begin to work, the money's going to start to come in, and you're going to want to buy some things. But delay your gratification until you can afford to pay for the things you want in life. You don't have to have it all at once, and certainly not all at the beginning. And most of us in the audience here have had to work many years to achieve the things we have in life, and you will need to do the same thing. Am I right, parents? Did you work for many years? A happy life is also a life of integrity and honesty. Integrity is what you do when no one is watching. But remember this, someone is watching. You are watching, and you are a witness to your own behavior, even if no one else is watching you, and you will know what you did when you look in the mirror. So don't do anything in your life that would cause you to lose your self-respect. A happy life also involves service to others. It's not all just about you. You are your brother's keeper, and it does take a village. So if life has been good to you, then when you are financially able, then pay it forward. And I challenge each one of you to find someone in your environment not related to you and change their lives. Sponsor a poor kid from another country, help to put a student through college, or find your own way to make a difference in another person's life, but pay it forward. A happy life is also a life of balance. Too much of anything is never healthy. Too much work, too much food, money, time on your hands, too many times sitting there listening to the same song over and over and over again. All of these things are out of balance and not emotionally healthy for you. It is the balance between the good things and the unpleasant things in life which make the good things in life to have more meaning. So find the proper balance. And having a happy life doesn't mean that you're happy all the time. Good things will certainly happen to you, but sometimes bad things also happen to good people. Life is like that. And when the bad things do happen to your life, and they will, you just remember the words of President Nixon on his last day in office when he said, Only if you've been in the deepest valley can you ever know how magnificent it is to be standing on the highest mountain. And sometimes we all feel depressed and overwhelmed with our life circumstances. And during those times, we sometimes lose sight of our self-worth and our desire to persevere in life. I've lost 4 of my former students to suicides in the last 20 years, and so this is an epidemic. But when those times come to you, and they will, and you may feel that you no longer want to go on, why you just think about how many bad people there are in the world, the murderers, the terrorists who would bring down buildings, those who would hurt innocent children, and how these people, not you, should be made to give up their lives first before we ever get around to you. And then, why you just look into the eyes of those of us who love you and who genuinely care about you, and you will find your self-worth again. You will encounter 3 types of people in your life: those who helped you through the bad times, those who abandoned you through the bad times, and those who put you through the bad times. And those who put you through the bad times will delight in your misery, and when they knock you to the ground, as anyone will tell you, they start kicking. Others may hate you, but just remember that those who hate you cannot win unless you hate them back, and then you destroy yourself. And if there are people in your life for whom you also have hatred, then realize that half of them don't even know that you hate them, and the other half wouldn't care if they did know. Hating others takes a lot of energy, and life is too short for that. So move on to other people, because the best revenge in life is to live well. And when those who hate you see that you are living well, they will not be able to stand the fact that despite all of their negative energy and ill will towards you, that you are not the least bit affected. So there. And now I have some advice for the young ladies in the audience. Many of you will have children one day, some sooner, some later. But other than yourself, the very best gift that you can give to your child is a good father. Someone who is responsible, with a good work ethic, and who will provide for your child's financial needs. Are you listening, ladies? The last thing you want to do is to find yourself having to beat the pavement looking for a job with 2 small kids one day because their father is not helping you. So choose your child's father well, because once you lock that decision in, you can't change it later. And for the young men on the floor, listen up. Being a father is not about biology, because even 2 goldfish can reproduce. I had cockroach there, but I marked it off and put goldfish. It's instead about commitment and responsibility. So if you choose to bring children into the world, then you are also reminded that the very best gift that you can give to your child is to be a good provider and a good role model for that child. Many of the graduates have asked me for a personal shout out. And at one point, I was selling them for $25 a pop. Today, the price went up to $50 if you waited to the last minute. But if I gave a shout out to everyone who asked for one, then we'd be here all day. And obviously, we don't have time for that. However, there are 2 shout outs which must be acknowledged. Listen carefully. The first is for Daniel Anders. His name will not be called during these commencement exercises, nor will he march across our stage today. But he is as important of a member of this graduating class as anyone else here today. So to acknowledge his rightful place in the class of 2015, I offer a huge, huge, huge shout out for Daniel Anders. Daniel was my student. And secondly, it has been said that Jacqueline Kennedy showed incredible poise, strength, and dignity during the funeral of her husband, President Kennedy. But Mrs. Kennedy could also take some lessons from Maddie McClish. Because along with Daniel's brother Dallas, at the young age of only 17 years, Maddie conducted Daniel's funeral services with more maturity, poise, and confidence than I ever imagined possible. And for that, her parents must be proud beyond words. And so for Maddie McClish, I don't know where you are in the audience today, but I offer you a huge shout out as well. Can you stand for a minute, Maddie, just so we see where you are? Maddie, there she is, everybody. An excellent human being, Maddie McClish. Thank you, Maddie. In a few minutes, you will graduate from high school. And as you march across that stage, making your transition into adulthood, I will be thinking to myself that there goes young America at its best. And then I'll remember some of the people that are graduating. And I know that some of you have cold feet about graduating and are somewhat insecure about the future. But understand this, that life is a series of new beginnings, and the very best 4 years of your life lie ahead of you at college. After today, I probably won't ever see you again. But I hope that whenever you get to wherever you are going, that you will stop and take the time to write me and your other teachers a letter in care of the school and tell us every little thing that's going on in your life. And just as I have enjoyed hearing from past graduates who came back to visit, so will I also be looking forward to hearing about all of the good and wonderful things that still lie ahead for you and your life in the years to come. So as you close an important chapter in your lives today, I remind you to eat healthy, stay off of drugs, don't smoke, stop texting while driving, and stay off that no-fly list. Good luck to you in all the years of your life. Never forget the fun that we once shared together when life was young. I'm honored to have been chosen to be your guest speaker, and I will be thinking of you in the years to come. Thank you.